What's going on, everybody, and welcome to A+ Anime. I am your host, of course, Ian Preschel, and I'm here to give you something a little bit different. And by different, I mean I'm actually going to put out a video. It's been too long. If you watched the video I made a long time ago, then you remember that I had a thing called Manga Monday, but it came out on Friday because I wanted to post the video on Monday, but I didn't want to wait. So instead, we're going to change the name from Manga Monday to what I'm calling The Rundown, okay? The Rundown is going to be me talking about something that maybe you should be checking out and giving you the rundown. I'm going to open up this series of The Rundown with a pretty controversial take, I think. And the controversial take is that Dr. Stone is the best manga that I think that nobody is talking about. I will be the first to admit it. I started Dr. Stone. I was really into it. I was really a fan of the story, the characters, everything, the art, all of it. And then I kind of trailed off. It seemed cool, but I just kind of put it to the side. Recently, I've had a lot more time, so I was able to kind of sit down and read it to its entirety, and oh boy, it is so good. And I'm going to kind of break it down for y'all why I think it is so good and why you guys should be adding it to your manga list. First things first, the most obvious thing, the first thing you see whenever you read a manga or watch an anime or whatever is the art style and the art direction. I don't need to tell you that this looks great. Like, look at this. Do you see that? It's amazing. It's some of the best art that I've seen coming out of Shonen Jump in many years. And I think the best part of it, honestly, isn't even necessarily the art, it's the art style. Shonen Jump and a lot of manga in general have very similar style, you know? That's how like Barnes & Noble could sell all those books of like, learn how to draw anime characters. Because like they had a very similar motif, I guess we'll say. And Dr. Stone does not follow the norms of the average anime or manga. It is very stylistic. It's very different from the average stuff that you're going to be seeing. And then on top of that, it has beautiful line work. It has amazing depth. It has such good everything, like the inking, like I want to go more into the artistic terms of it, but I don't even have the time. Just every single aspect of it is amazing. And the awesome thing about Dr. Stone's art is that Dr. Stone's focus is on science and how science progresses. So as the manga is progressing, you are actually going to be seeing a bunch of new things being added to this artist's repertoire, Boichi's art style. And yeah, we kind of started in like the Stone Age of like just rocks and trees and basic huts and stuff. And now we're currently at in the manga, I don't want to spoil too much, but we're getting vehicles. So it's awesome to see that this art quality is just as good from page 1 till whatever chapter, like chapter 100 or something like that. I'll put the number of chapters right here. Of the current ongoing manga series that are being published in Shonen Jump right now, Dr. Stone is like relatively short. Like it's not that crazy long to get into. I've had many friends actually come to me and complain about how I recently suggested to them in the past video to watch Spy Family, and then Spy Family went on a break for like a month and they had nothing left to read after they caught up. So if you're watching this video, a couple of my friends that complained about that, guess what? If you start Dr. Stone, I promise you, there's a whole bunch to read. You're not gonna be done with it in like a week. I pinky promise, okay? Obviously, if you're reading a manga, if you're reading any story, characters are very important. And not only do the characters' motivations and eccentricities kind of play into liking a manga, it's also the character's body shape, design, clothes, fashion, everything. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Dr. Stone has the best I've seen in a very long time. We have diverse body shapes, we have diverse body sizes, heights, we have interesting fashion, we have also every character, we have everything. Long story short, we have everything. So there are these tattoos that almost every main character has, and they're somewhere on their face or on their body or whatever, and it usually tells you a minor detail about that character, their personality, what they're good at, whatever. And it really makes a lot of the art design in the show very cool. Like it adds a little bit of artistic flair to a lot of these characters that you already like, and gives them a little bit more characterization, which I think is also very important in manga, is characterizing your characters. So if you know about the Danganronpa games, Dangan? You know about the Danganronpa games, so you probably already know about this trope. It's the trope of I am the best at a certain skill at a high school. So for example, like I am the best football player, I'm the best cook, I'm the best fashionista, etc. This trope is actually kind of carried over into Dr. Stone to a certain extent. A lot of the people that start showing up in the story are these pinnacles of these certain skills, and I think it's very interesting to kind of see these different personalities and different skill sets kind of interact, and it makes for a very, very interesting story. Last up is the story, you know, the narrative, the meat and potatoes of the manga, what you're actually going to be trying to get invested into in Dr. Stone. So Dr. Stone is about a global extinction event, and actually, no, maybe you shouldn't read it. It's too soon. It's too close to home. It is about a global event that turns the majority of the Earth's population into stone. Our main character is one of those special kids we were talking about earlier. He is a brilliant genius scientist. His name is Senku, and he is the main character of this story. He is our Dr. Stone for all intents and purposes. So we follow him as the main character, and then one day at school, he's hanging out with his best friend Taiju, and then boom, this giant light happens, and then everyone in the world is turned to stone for, I think it's like 1,000,000, I'll put the number of years, it's a lot of years, for a long time, to the point where all of the ruins of the cities are gone. It's all vegetation. The animals have kind of taken back the earth, the ozone, everything has changed in this time that they were encased in stone. But pretty much the story is Dr. Stone, aka Senku, learning about this huge pandemic thing and trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, and how to kind of reverse it for all of humanity and bring back humanity out of the Stone Age. But not only that, the author puts all these like different science lessons inside of the manga, so it almost feels like you're learning something on top of enjoying this nice story. You know, it almost feels like it almost feels like the Magic School Bus, but anime in a cool way. Kind of like how in a sports anime you would learn about a sport like volleyball and Haikyuu, or you know, in iShield 21 you'd be learning about football. In this manga, you're kind of learning about just science in general and how humans have learned about different scientific things in the world and how they've applied that to progressing society. Like in the most recent chapters, we learned how rubber is made. Did you know how rubber was made before? Probably not. I didn't. Did you know that rubber comes from a tree? I legit didn't know that. It comes from a tree. Isn't that cool? And you want to know why tires are black? Because of carbon mixed with the... Listen, man, it's cooler than I'm making it seem, okay? You learn stuff. It's interesting. It's fun. If you're one of those people that likes to watch an anime instead, then guess what? You have a whole new season to catch up on, and even season 1 if you haven't started that yet. So I highly recommend Dr. Stone. It is the best manga out right now that no one on Twitter or in social media is really talking about. It's kind of crazy because when I came back to it, the first thing that I said was, holy, why is no one... This is amazing. This is so cool. The art's great. The story's awesome. There's intrigue. And yeah, you should check it out. You know what? Here's the big selling point. I'm going to put this, I think, maybe at the front of the video instead. Remember how Lost was really bad and we were all collectively very mad about that? Well, guess what? Dr. Stone is like Lost, but good and anime. There you go. That's a good selling point, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Rundown. I'm going to come at you live next week with another episode talking about, I think, my favorite manga right now, and that is God of High School. And make sure if you like this video or if you like Dr. Stone, hit a like down below and drop a comment. What are some other mangas or anime or whatever that you think that no one's really talking about on social media that you want some more groundswell for? You know, let's get talking about some of our underappreciated manga that we really, really appreciate. So until next week, love each other and watch some anime. See you later.